I'm Lisa from sewinglife.com, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this coin purse. It's really cute, it's got a little popper and 3 separate compartments. It's really easy to make. Hopefully you're already a subscriber to the channel. If you're not, it would mean a lot to me if you would subscribe so that you can see all the future projects. If you want to just press the subscribe button, that would be super. And let's get on with the project. All that you need to make this purse is 2 pieces of fabric, preferably ones that complement each other. A light and a dark is better so that you can see the contrast. You only need 26 centimetres by 30 centimetres in each of those, and also the same in the interfacing. I've used a medium weight interfacing here. You'll also need some fasteners, some little snap fasteners, which will be used to shut it. And that's all you need. If you are happy to, I will show you how to make the shape for the purse. If you're not confident making that shape by yourself, I have the pattern available on my website, sewnglife.com. So this is a shape of pattern that you want to get to, and you get to that by starting with a rectangle that is 30 centimetres across and 26 centimetres high. And the first thing that you're going to do is cut a rectangle off from this corner and this corner. That rectangle is going to be 8 centimetres down and 10 centimetres across on both sides. This is going to be the flap of the purse, and it looks nicer if these edges are rounded. So an easy thing to do is just get a cup and put it on the edge and just draw a little rounded corner on the edge and cut that out. But in order to make sure that it is level with the other side, that it's exactly the same, fold it in half and cut them both out at the same time, so that now you know that both sides are exactly the same. Okay. What you want to do now is take your pattern piece and have a piece of interlining. This needs to be a medium weight interlining, and draw around this pattern piece and then cut a piece of interlining out in this shape. So now that you've cut the shape out, you want to position this shape onto the wrong side of your main fabric. So this is the fabric that's going to be on the outside. So you want the sticky side down, which is normally the sort of the shiny side. So the shiny side is touching the wrong side of the fabric, and you're going to iron it onto the wrong side of the fabric. Just make sure that you leave a 1 centimetre gap all the way around, because that is where that's going to be cut out in a minute. Cut all the way around the interfacing 1 centimetre away. Use this as a template to cut out exactly the same shape out of your lining fabric. Position the 2 pieces of fabric on top of each other, right sides touching, and then you're going to sew all around the outer edge, leaving a gap of about 10 centimetres at the bottom, which is not sewn. When you sew all the way around, you're just going to sew 2 millimetres inside the interfacing, just so that you don't have the full amount of bulk to turn inside out, so that you don't have like a centimetre of interfacing. So you can see this is what the stitching looks like now that it's sewn all the way around. It's a couple of millimetres, 2 to 3 millimetres in from the edge of the interfacing. Corners just need to be snipped off, so each of the corners. And at the edge here of the flap, this one to cut inside, and then cut a few notches on the corner. And what that will allow is the fabric to sit flat when it is turned inside out. So 2 or 3 notches, turn everything inside out through this hole that you left. Use your finger to poke out the edges. You want the corners to be really straight and crisp. Put your finger on that rounded edge as well. to really pull the shape out. Now, can you see, I have got a bit of a pull there. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back in and I'm going to snip that a little bit more at those corners. Can you see the difference here? I've just gone inside on this corner and cut a little bit closer to the edge, and that now sits a lot flatter, whereas this side I've not quite cut it close enough to the edge yet, so it's still a bit puckered. So you can see the difference. So I'm going to do the same and cut closer to the corner on this side as well. That's better. Both edges now are flat. Okay, right, now take it to the ironing board, and now is the time to give it a good iron. When you iron it, make sure that you turn these edges underneath here by the same amount, so it's going to be about 1 centimetre. Take it to the sewing machine and top stitch along this bottom edge and along this top edge. You're not going to do the sides. Top edge and the bottom edge are now top stitched. So what you're going to do now is fold the first side in and then fold it back on itself, and the same for the other side. Fold that side in and back on itself, and iron those two pieces flat. I want to take these two outer edges and match them up. Make sure that they're the same length. They should be exactly the same length. Okay, and we're going to pin them together. We're going to sew down here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these quilters clips, and I want to, in order to make sure that they match exactly, I'm going to put a pin up here or a clip up here so that I can see that the two folded lines are together and the two lengths of fabric are the same there. And then I'm going to go to the other end and again match the folds and match the ends so that they're exactly sitting level, and then pin along here, and that will just ensure that when I sew, that sits neatly and that sits neatly. So now I'm going to go and sew along that folded edge. Now that that's sewn, press that open and then fold this up, and you're going to sew down here. So first of all, check that the corners match up. Pin there, and take it to the sewing machine and sew down there. So now that that is sewn, what you want to do is sew the corresponding seam. Can you see? So what you need to do is pin that. So again, check that they're level. But to get to it, you just need to turn it inside out. So just pull it through so that you can get to that seam. So exactly the same thing now, sew down there. Now that that side is sewn as well, you've now got both sides sewn, and that's going to be the middle pocket. So what you need to do now is turn it so that this sits in the middle. Okay, pull it out. There we go. So you have your purse shape concertina. Okay. And the flap. So now we're going to put the fastening on, a snap fastening. And first of all, we'll put it on the flap. So this is the flap. Fold it in half, because what we want to do is make sure that it's positioned centrally. So mark up about 2 centimetres with a pin, push the pin through, and this is the position that we're going to put the top snap in. So to make the hole for the snap to go in, you're going to use this, which is called an owl. So this will make a hole in the fabric. It's very, very sharp. So put it in right next to the pin, and don't, make sure your fingers are not in the way because it's really, really sharp. Pull the pin out and it just goes through. That's all you need to do, just push it through, pull it out, and there is a hole there. This is what you need for the fastening, the two outer pieces, and then there's an upper and a lower piece. They'll go together, and they'll go together. So first of all, insert one of the snaps. So go through the hole that you've just made with the owl, then go onto the back and place this on the top, and then with this implement, this normally comes with the snap fastenings, place it in there and then just simply push it and it tightens it in place. It's brilliant. Okay, make sure that this is completely centralized before you do anything, so you want it completely in the center. Then what I'm going to do is fold this backwards and take my owl and put my owl into the fabric underneath that point. Okay, I'm not going to press it through yet, because what I want to do is I want to make sure that it only goes through this first section. Okay, so I'm going to be very careful with this. So I'm going to press it through and I'm going to check inside that it comes through and just goes through that first layer. Okay, so pull that out. Then I'm going to put the fastening in the back, push that through, and then that goes on top, and same process, line it up, whoops, press, release, it's in place. So now it's up. Now that it's ready, you can start putting your things in. So you can fit cards in there. It's made to fit credit cards, coins, and you can fit your keys in as well. So everything you need in one place. Gorgeous. So I really hope that you've enjoyed making this purse, and that you get a lot of enjoyment out of using it as well. I would recommend now that you hop on over to the tutorial to make a boxed tote bag. It doesn't use any more complicated skills than the ones you've already used for this purse, and I think that you'll really enjoy it. So I will see you over there. Thank you very much for joining me, and thank you for spending your time watching this tutorial. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.